All right, it was good. That was even less. That was like 15 seconds. So if you're hearing the audio come back in now, I apologize to everybody, but it actually worked, and I'm now less terrified to continue.
These things make it sound really good.
Yeah.
Again, it's what everyone uses on TikTok, except they like hold it like
they hold it with they have it on credit cards or like stuff like.
Yeah, they clip it to something because it's a lapel mic.
That's usually what I see.
Yeah. It makes me laugh.
Yeah. So we did a TremorsFest recap episode last year.
Yes.
And again, that was the audio on that was spotty.
We didn't have our fancy lapel mics.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really think about doing a TremorsFest recap episode this year.
I didn't either.
But then Adrian Meza, who was a fellow that I not only met at the fest but had been talking to beforehand, said, "Hey, I listened to your last one. Are you gonna do another one?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess we are, Adrian. Yeah. This one's on you and Mitsu and Larry. I'm blaming you three for this. So thank you, I guess." And yeah, so there's a long storied history to this. If you've watched the other one, in all honesty, like there's
maybe watch that one before you watch this one.
I mean, stop. We'll give you a recap as we go here. But,
I suppose we can do that.
But also, yeah, there's a lot. Because as always, I write down notes. I did actually have a good, decent.
Holy shit! When did you write all that?
While you were driving.
Oh, wow!
That's why I had to get my notebook.
That's a lot of writing.
So I actually had to get a new notebook for Talking Tremors purposes only. And this is actually my first Talking Tremors episode in here. There was some TremorsFest stuff that I put in here. Oh, I put Hunter's photos in here too.
Hooray!
That kid did awesome with these. I'm so glad I helped buy these for him. Because then he got to give out more.
Yeah, he did. He got to give out a whole bunch.
Worth it. So yeah. Anyway, oh my god, I'm going to get distracted because there's beautiful mountains around us. To give the lead up to like what there's stuff happening. We went to TremorsFest last year. We weren't initially sure what was going to happen. I had been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff to get people there and such. And I'll just say there's a Glenn Maddock just particularly didn't like Kaitlin and I. How about that's the best way to put it on that?
You're just going right in. Okay.
Well, I've shaken his hand, and we've now claimed bygones are bygones. So that's where I want to start by saying, let's see if that is. All right, we'll find out. Although, as we'll find out in this episode, we still found out more after I shook his hand and said bygones are bygones. So it's a thing. And we went to TremorsFest expecting a little bit more animosity because we've been banned from the Facebook group. Just general animosity behind the scenes or whatever. And I know if you listen to that episode, Kaitlin was particularly angry about things.
I didn't do anything. I am guilty by association, and it's not the first time in my life that has happened, and I do not care for it. If you've had it happen to you before, I'm sorry. It sucks, and I am not here for it.
Yeah. Está no bueno. So then this year, and everything ended up whatever, but then, like I said, Glenn was goody-goody to us, but then still turned around and then ghosted us for the rest of the year on this. Yeah, to the point where I had been corresponding with Zach Willie because I had gained the contact information for a whole bunch of people involved with Tremors that apparently nobody else had, and that prime one was Finn Carter, in a huge, huge way. And so that was where, back in April, in a sense, Glenn and Zach started talking to me because I had something that they needed or wanted, and they were allowing me more into the circle of things on this. And then I gave them a whole bunch of information for a whole bunch of people, of which only J.D. Walsh, Christopher Silber, Finn Carter, and Conrad Bachman, and then Lori Hudson were able to come. But I ended up bringing over 50% of the people that were at TremorsFest to TremorsFest. So I will count that as a win on that front. And we were corresponding for a good while, and then this is Zach got mad at a certain point because he thought that I was criticizing how they were running the fest. And it was more like, I just feel like we could maybe be doing this better. You guys are kind of excluding me. I do know what I'm doing here. Let's kind of like work together. Although really the thing that I was complaining to them about was that they were going really hard on Finn Carter because of Finn Carter's past, like, and the TMZs and all that. And they just didn't believe that she would actually show up. So they were emailing way too hard on her instead of giving her the grace and time of day to...
The courtesy of an actual human being?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I guess this is going to be a spicy episode.
Just because it is. I wrote... the first line that I wrote here on my notes was the months leading up to this, and then also Adrian Meza. And so then that happened, and then Zach kind of ghosted me for a while. And then I actually recently... months later, found out that his mom had died around that time, and I feel like, and he even said to me that's part of the reason he was being a little harsh, which is fair,
understandable.
That's where it wasn't completely. That's where for me, I'm only bringing it up now, not in a term of anger. It's more, hey, this is the thing that happened.
It's a part of the story.
This is the sequence of events. I have to keep this all in here so it all makes sense. And so then we had like gone back and forth. Actually, it started with telling him about the Stampede rights thing was happening again. And then I had finally really talked to Finn, and Finn was like, I am in. Let's go to TremorsFest. I am so down. And when she finally called me back, she was like, I have been so busy. I'm so sorry. We're still doing this. I would love to go. I've already bought plane tickets. So just let me know what we need to do. And I was like, hell yeah, girl. And then that last month was insane because then her and I became incredible friends incredibly quickly, and just one thing led to another, and then she came on the show. I interviewed her for a good 3 hours. I can't even say interviewed her. We talked for a good 3 hours.
Check it out if you haven't.
Yes, it would be the last episode before this, technically, because I just haven't had time to do other episodes. Because Finn Carter is perfection. She's the queen of tremors. Did that and had a really good, man, we fell fast in the friendship with her.
We did. She's dope.
Which we'll come to later, because that was just a wonderful thing. And then I even have to say that happened more because of Mike Malone, too, who is also on the show, and hooking Finn and Mike up together and them realizing, okay, Levi's legit. Let's, do this. And while this was happening, it had been announced that, okay, Finn's coming to TremorsFest, and Conrad Bachman underneath one of the posts was like, well, hey, what the hell's going on? Why didn't anybody invite me to this? And I whoa, hey, buddy, here's my number. Call me. And he immediately called me 15.
You might want to explain who that is.
So Conrad Bachman is Dr. Jim. Finn Carter is Rhonda LeBeck in Tremors. And then Conrad Bachman is Dr. Jim. He's the guy that you watch him get swallowed before his wife gets swallowed in the car.
Yeah, the doctor and his wife are building the house out in the middle of the desert, and they get eaten by a graboid.
Jim and Megan.
It's horrible.
It's horrifying every time. Like I said,
we got to meet that guy.
Yeah, when I finally met him, I was just like, man, that you just traumatized me.
He's 91 years old.
He'll be 92 soon.
When's his birthday?
Yeah.